Alright, so in the kit is included with all the mounting brackets, airbags, the hardware, and the airlines. So I'll show you guys how we assemble the first airbag, and then we'll go put it on the truck. Alright, so now we're going to assemble the airbags that are going to go onto our Dodge here. So first we're going to install these black brackets that are going to mount to the top of the airbag. So we're going to install it like that, so the hole for the air nozzle is exposed. Then we're going to install the air nozzle supplied with the kit. Now you're going to want to install some Teflon tape onto the air nozzle before you install it, so that way you don't get any leaks. Then you're going to tighten it down with a 10mm wrench. Once you tighten your air nozzle down, you're going to install this bracket on top. Now you want to be careful because there's two different brackets that are supplied. There's one with the holes facing the flat side, and then there's one with the holes facing the curved side. So you're going to want to install the one with the holes facing the flat side of the bracket on top of the airbag, and you're going to want to have the cutout facing the nozzle. Now you're going to install your supplied hardware into the top of the airbag and then torque it to spec. Alright, so now we'll flip our airbag over and we'll install the bottom side of the bracket that goes on there. So now to install the top side of the bracket, you're going to want to install the side with the holes away from the air nozzle on this side. And so you'll just put the supplied hardware in place, and then you'll torque these to spec as well. Alright, so now we're going to pull out these two 15mm bolts on the bump stop, and then we're going to install our airbag brackets. And we're going to install these bolts into the bump stop bracket. Alright, so now we put a jack under the rear of the truck. We're going to jack it up to get a little bit more space in between the axle and the frame. Alright, so now we're going to install our airbag between the frame here. And it goes in just like that. And these bolt holes are going to face the leaf spring, and we're going to install these longer carriage bolts. So that should sit right up onto the leaf spring, and there's a cutout for the U-bolts that go to the axle. So it should sit just like that, and then we will bolt this whole thing down. So we're going to install this bracket, and it's going to go behind the leaf spring out here, through our blue bracket. Just like that. Alright, so now we're going to install these two lock nuts onto that bracket so it clamps it onto the leaf spring first there. Now we're going to install this bottom bracket onto here, and that'll clamp it to the axle. And then we'll put a washer and a lock nut right under this. Alright, now that everything's bolted up, we can tighten everything down. Alright, so now we're going to lower the jack down some, and then we can insert the bolts to these two brackets. So, alright, so now we can insert our carriage bolts through the brackets just like that, and we'll put a nut on it, and we'll tighten these down and torque them to spec. Alright, so this is what the entire assembly looks like, and now we'll just screw on our heat shield to go over the exhaust so we don't melt our airbag, and that's just held on with two hose clamps here. So I'll throw this on real quick. Alright, and that's what the entire assembly looks like. Got our heat shield on here, and the airbag is installed. So just do that on the other side, and we can get ready to run the lines. All right, so our line is just going to be inserted just like that. You just push it in and then pull it, make sure it's in there all the way, and then we can route our line to the back of the truck. So you can route your line as needed. I'm just going to route mine right along the frame rail here to the rear bumper. And then I can insert the air chuck so that way I can put some air in the bag. So we'll just zip tie it around the frame rail here and then mount the air nozzles on the end of the line. So we got the driver's side and the passenger airbags installed. And then we ran our lines up here to the bumper where we can put air in it. So now let's try to put some air in this thing and see if it works. So now going to put some air in our air lines and fill our airbags up. All right, both of our airbags are at 80 PSI. So that's going to conclude the airbag install.